Hello and welcome. Today's project is all about my 2.5 year NoFap journey, why I decided to quit pornography, why I decided to quit masturbating, and really what my life has been like without it. And NoFap is this online community that abstains from masturbation and pornography, and they talk about the benefits. But I didn't go out seeking this. What happened was I came across this. And how I came across this is when I was suffering from GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, which included agoraphobia, health anxiety, and I was suffering, and my life was so out of control. Everything has went and has gotten beyond me, and I was trying to gain control over my life. So at this time, I was eager to acknowledge the behaviors I was doing that was making me feel out of control and weak. And I was looking at videos of social anxiety, and then social anxiety led to NoFap. And I was like, what is this NoFap? This guy's talking about porn. And I was like, I didn't realize that, well, since I was 15, for a decade of my life, that this habit was controlling me and was manipulating me, until I discovered these YouTubers who made me see another side of the coin. Right? That's a paradigm shift, to see a different perspective of something. That everything, like that the moment when things start to click together. And so he was talking about his addiction to porn, and I was like, oh my God, this guy sounds just like me. And then he starts to talk about how when he quit, things got better in his life. And that resonated with me. I was like, I want things to be better in my life, because I'm struggling with social anxiety and all these issues with myself, and something inside resonated with me. And I realized that for a decade of my life, every time I would watch porn, I would feel this guilt and shame deep within me that I would repress all the time. And I realized at the same time that this thing had its grip around me. It was gripping me. And when I decided to stop doing it and realized that I couldn't stop, then it was an addiction. And so at this time in my life, I was like, well, I got to tackle this dragon, because I realized that I can't seem to get myself past this, that it's been controlling me without me even realizing it. So how has my life been without NoFap? Well, the first thing is I feel mentally stronger than I've been before, because now I have control over the urges that I used to be a slave to. And now when I have control, I choose whether or not to let those emotions run the show and push me into the shadow parts of myself. Now, the shadow parts of yourself are the parts that you don't want to confront, that can lead to bitterness, resentfulness, and total destruction, total chaos. And I was in that total chaos when I was suffering from anxiety. And so I realized that pornography was in the category of the shadow, because there's a lot of negative aspects to pornography, which I'll get into. And you don't realize those negative aspects until you stop doing that thing, right? So I realized, now that I've gone 2.5 years without porn, I realize that the urges aren't as strong as they used to be. Because what happens is dopamine peaks when you watch porn, when you masturbate. And dopamine is that craving neurochemical. That's why when you watch porn, you can watch it for hours, because it's like the you know there's going to be that end climax. So it's the craving. It's like, oh, the next video is going to be better. I want the perfect video to come up. And so each time you watch porn, it's like this dopamine kick so great that it's strengthening this circuit that keeps you hooked to that habit, right? And so what now that circuit is no longer there. I'm no longer supporting that circuit, so I'm not getting these dopamine extremes, and I'm not getting the crashes that the dopamine extremes cause. And that's the hangover period. So when you do FAP, what happens is you may feel a sense of lacking, a sense of loss and irritability and fatigue, and you may experience a hypersensitivity to sexual cues. Like when you're walking down the road and you see an attractive woman, you're just like fantasizing, and you're objectifying her in ways where you won't be if you're not supporting those circuits that strengthen your pornography usage. And so now I realize that, these things are no longer controlling me, that I no longer experience this hangover period. I'm no longer experiencing these dopamine crashes, right? Because now that when you watch porn, what happens is you get this constant urge to revisit the thing that has given you that dopamine kick. So now when you quit and you push through that resistance and that hangover period and get to the other side, you'll realize that you will feel more mentally stable and at this baseline, which is really, really powerful. And then I'm no longer objectifying women, which is really an important part of this NoFap journey. Because when you watch pornography, what happens is that you're increasing this dopamine, but also you're not activating this oxytocin, which is the bonding neurochemical. And the bonding neurochemical is that chemical when you're giving your spouse a hug and you're giving them a kiss and you're really connecting with them. And looking back at my life for a decade, I can't even believe it. The connections that I could have made with other partners was not even there because of my addiction to pornography. What you act out continually is what you value, and me acting out the pornography, watching porn, was saying, well, this is what Brad values, and relationships get put on the back burner. And that oxytocin was never there for a meaningful relationship, a real bonding relationship. And I always turned to pornography for that getaway, rather than mustering up the courage to talk to that woman. I can just go home and watch porn and get that release there. But that was not a natural release, because what is natural is bonding with other people, because we are social creatures. So pornography was increasing my isolation and decreasing my social skills, and my social anxiety increased because of that. And so I was practicing pornography for a long time, and because I was practicing pornography for a long time, I was putting that above any intimate relationship that I could have had in the past. And so what is stopping you from getting to that 1 month streak of NoFap. Because a lot of young men come to me on YouTube saying how much my videos of NoFap have changed their perspective of pornography. Because pornography is something that is increasing now in the younger generation. Because when I was growing up, I had to really search the internet for it. But now it's so accessible that I can't imagine these younger kids growing up with these smartphones in their pocket. They can just go to the bathroom and watch pornography. And it's a serious issue for young men nowadays because it's increasing their social anxiety. It's putting porn above intimate relationships. It's increasing their isolation. And it's supporting that objectifying of women. And that's where I'm going to leave you on today's video. I hope this video has resonated with you. Maybe you may not be struggling from pornography or masturbation, but maybe there's something that you are struggling with, and I hope that this video has helped you come to realize that, well, once you stop doing that thing and you realize that you can't stop, that it's an addiction. And it's really important to see the other side of the coin as well, that there is another perspective. Because for a decade of watching pornography, it became my normal. And pain can be your normal, right? Pain can be your normal. You may not realize that pornography is causing you a lot of pain until you stop and see the benefits and then realize, these benefits are way more powerful, way more, well, I feel more confident and more in control because of these benefits, and that's worth more, and the self-respect is worth more than watching pornography. Do not let anxiety define who you are. I will see you on the next video or podcast. Bye for now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be one of the first to know. Namaste.